Hello, Roboteers! Welcome to the Robotics Parlor. How do you build a moon base? With robots, of course. Before we start to talk about moon bases, we should first see how robots can build things at all. One of the robots we're looking at today is built by Fastbrick Robotics in Perth, Australia, and it's a bricklaying robot, as its name implies. It's electrically powered and can lay down 1,000 bricks per hour, which means it can lay the bricks for a house in 2 days. The way the robot works is that it follows a CAD program and it goes in the exact layout of the building, building it layer by layer. Another robot that builds buildings was developed in the University of South California, and it works by being like a giant 3D printer for concrete. Now, the way 3D printers work, if you're not familiar, is that they do something called additive manufacturing, which means that they build layer upon layer on top of each other to make a structure. In this case, this is a giant one using concrete. And it's an advantage to use this kind of robot because it makes a superior finish and is able to make complex and curved shapes much faster than a human would. Theoretically, if they built a robot big enough, it could make a house in 20 hours and use much less waste material. Some of the advantages of having this 3D printed concrete is that it has a superior finish and is able to make complex and curved shapes much faster and more accurately than humans can. Theoretically, if they built one big enough, it could make a house in 20 hours and use much less waste material. One big advantage of this is that curved structures are much stronger and are good in earthquake-prone areas, but right now they're way too expensive to be used regularly. There are many advantages to these types of robots. For instance, they open up work in the construction industry to people who are not traditionally a part of it, such as women and older workers who, through these robots, would not have as much physically difficult work to do. Another advantage is the speed and low cost of the technology. It could be used for building relief structures in humanitarian crises, as well as being helpful for building low-cost housing as the human population grows. And lastly, as I mentioned in the beginning, these technologies could be used for building moon bases. The way it would work is the robot would be taken to the moon, and then the moon dust would be used for making the concrete, which would be a lot more efficient and cost-effective than trying to bring construction materials to the moon. Thanks for joining me in the Robotics Parlor. I look forward to my robot house building moon base. Thanks to M & Drive for sponsoring this project. Links to them and to all the stories down below. And as always, I hope you have a roboterific day. Boop-a-doop-a-doop.